This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Good morning and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Friday, November 19. In Squiz Kids Today, mystery soldier revealed, Cambodia's Facebook quirk, turning pig poo into power, and Harry Potter stars reunited. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
An 80-year-old mystery will be solved today when the identity of a World War II sailor is finally revealed. 80 years ago today, back in 1941, in the middle of a big war that involved lots of countries called World War II, an Australian Navy ship called the HMAS Sydney was torpedoed by a German ship and sank off the coast of Western Australia. All of the 645 sailors aboard the HMAS Sydney died on that day. Only one body was ever recovered, a young sailor who made it into a life raft but died before he was found. He was buried before he could be identified. Fast forward 8 decades, and technology has advanced so much that scientists have now been able to extract DNA from the sailor's remains, and from that DNA, they've been able to work out exactly who he is. And his identity will be revealed today in a special ceremony marking the 80th anniversary of the worst naval tragedy in Australia's history. So, why is that important? For the 645 families who lost a family member 80 years ago, it's considered an important gesture of respect, just as it's considered important to honour servicemen and women who died in wars for their country. I've stuck a link in today's episode notes to the Australian War Memorial website, where news of the sailor's identity and backstory is expected to drop today.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Cambodia, where experts have finally figured out why half of all the millions of voice messages sent on Facebook Messenger each year come from this Southeast Asian country. You see, the language spoken in Cambodia is Khmer, and it has 74 different characters, more than any other script in the world. So you know how our alphabet has 26 characters, right? Khmer has 74 characters, so imagine trying to type a message on a phone when you have to switch between multiple keyboards to get all of the characters. Total pain in the neck. It's much easier just to send a voice message, which is apparently what all of Cambodia does. I've popped a link in your episode notes to a Cambodian keyboard so you can see how complicated it is. Good luck.
Animal Kingdom.
Pig poo. Good for nothing, right? Wrong. As a clever farmer in Victoria has discovered, by collecting and processing pig poo, it can be turned into electricity. Genius. The clever people at the Berrybank farm near Ballarat have created a machine that takes pig poo and converts it to energy, which is then used to provide the electricity required to run the farm. And the waste that's left over is also recycled to make fertiliser. And how about this as a stat to make your toes curl? The Berrybank farm, which is home to about 20,000 pigs, produces 80,000 litres of pig poo every single day. Ew. That's a hell of a lot of poo that's being recycled and reused in a really clever way. Pig poo recyclers, we salute you.
Pop Culture Corner.
Harry Potter fans, whip out your wands and plump up the sorting hat. Whether you're a Ravenclaw, Slytherin, Gryffindor, or the other one I can never remember, you're going to want to mark your diary and make a plan to settle down in front of the telly on New Year's Day to watch the Harry Potter 20th Anniversary TV special. Yesterday it was confirmed that actors Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson and Rupert Grint, who played Harry, Hermione and Ron respectively, will all be getting together to film a Hogwarts special to mark the 20th anniversary of the first Harry Potter film, The Sorcerer's Stone, hitting cinemas. The TV special will air on HBO Max in the US on New Year's Day, which means it should be available here on the streaming service Binge soon thereafter. Wingardium Leviosa.
Squiz Kids Correspondence.
In this news segment, we get to know the country we live in and the world around us by seeing it through the eyes of fellow Squiz Kids. So, if you live somewhere interesting, either here in Australia or overseas, we want to know what your life is like. Where you live, what you love about it, what you don't like so much, what school is like there, what you eat for lunch, and the one place you'd take us if we came to visit. Send in the story of your life and we'll play it on the podcast. There's a link to an information sheet in today's episode notes explaining what we want to know and how you can become a Squiz Kids correspondent. In the meantime, allow me to introduce this week's correspondents, Audrey and Gwen, who are from Melbourne but now live with their family in Oxford in England. Take it away, girls.
Hi, our names are Audrey and
Gwen, we're 10 and 7 years old. We live in Oxford in England.
We're both born in Oxford, and the reason is our dad came to study at Oxford University and then he chose to stay.
The capital of England is London. It is 80 kilometres away from us.
We live with our mum and dad and our little brother Henry, not to forget our cat called Otis. We've lived all of our lives here, except for a short period when we went to Melbourne and studied at Gardenvale Primary School. The main language spoken here is English, although they use different words. For example, a zucchini is called a courgette,
Capsicum is called pepper,
pants are called trousers. So in England, don't yell out in the street, "Oh dear, my pants are all wet," because people will think that you've weed in your undies.
At school, most kids in England eat a hot meal for lunch in the hall.
The thing that might surprise Squiz Kids the most about where I live is some of the famous things that were invented in Oxford. Recently, the AstraZeneca vaccine against COVID was discovered here by an amazing researcher called Professor Sarah Gilbert.
I listen to Squiz Kids every morning, and it reminds me of Melbourne.
And my favourite bit is definitely the animal kingdom. It's the best.
I hope you are able to visit Oxford one day.
This is Audrey and Gwen in Oxford, England, signing off. Now
get out there and have a most excellent day.
Over and out.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. What was the name of the Australian naval ship that sank 80 years ago today? That's right, it was the HMAS Sydney. Question number 2. In which country is Khmer the most commonly spoken language? Yeah, it's Cambodia. Question number 3. Name one of the 4 houses in Harry Potter. I'll take Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff. Yeah, of course I remembered it.
Shout outs.
It's November 19, birthday for Kylo Ren actor Adam Driver, and it's also International Toilet Day, where we're encouraged to stop and think about how lucky we are to live in a country with good sanitation, as many people in many countries don't have the same luck. It's also a Friday, and you know what that means? An extra long birthday shout-out segment, for which I'm going to crank out the old birthday reggae tune. Hit it. And it's a happy birthday today to Matilda from Launceston, Gemma from Oran Park, Asher from Abbotsford, Charlotte from Baldivis, Madeline from Emu Plains, Lockie from Edithvale, Amelia from Barden Ridge, Schlock from Melbourne, Edwin from Marrickville, William from Canberra and Anna from Maitland. Not forgetting, of course, all of those Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday over the weekend coming. Hayden from Listerfield, Pipstar from Sydney, Isla Betty from Gwynville, Anushka from Point Cook, Lachlan from Abbotsford, Ella from Melbourne, Greg from Wallen, Akali from Randwick, Ava from Gosford East, Stewie from Exeter, Lily from Five Dock, Levi from Ashmont, Penelope and Pippa, both from Sydney. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you're after a classroom shout out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again on Monday. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.